But I gotta confess something, dude. I've definitely broke the cart narc law quite a few times. And if you ever catch me, this is the line that I would use for you. Don't judge. I understand, Agent Sebastian. This is terrible. This is what I would have said. I'd have been like, I'm doing this to stimulate the economy, because if everyone puts their cart back, we're going to be putting a 16-year-old out of work. And I don't want to do that. That's what I was said.
I've heard, we've heard that line a number of times from people.
What's the comeback?
And it fails the sniff test, as they say, for several reasons. Number one, the employee will still have a job because they have to go to the cart return to get the cart still. Number one, so you're not eliminating their job. You'll say, well, their job involves also getting the other carts. Yeah, true. Number two, but it's not like it's their only job. I worked that position in high school, and you're doing cashier work, you're bagging groceries, you're stocking, you're helping with customer service stuff. And number three, that really only applies in the past, I don't know, 6 or 12 months. We have an insane labor shortage. Like, the unemployment is basically zero or below zero. The real unemployment rate. There's places all around the country that are reducing hours, reducing service. There's all kinds of, like, I'll go to a Dunkin' Donuts I've been to where they couldn't open up the actual indoor dining area because they didn't have enough people. So if you claim that we don't have enough entry-level jobs, you just don't. It's not reality.
No, definitely not. Touche. Then if you would have caught me there, I would have probably went, I'm worried about obesity. And I feel like if I put the cart further away from the corral, that they're going to get exercise. So I may have went there if I was dealing with you, AJ. But I know you're a stickler, dude. So what would you say to that?
Well, I'd say your obesity cure is great, because I'll give you one you haven't thought of yet, is they'll say it gives them a chance to get out of the store, or like, I loved getting out of the store and going to get carts because it was a chance to, like, smoke a cigarette or whatever. Yeah, that's great. And if you want to reduce obesity and give the kid a smoke break at the cost of a potentially dinged door or cracked headlight, then I'd say your priorities are a bit upside down.
Give me the law, man. You know what? This it. I'm putting all carts back from this day. Beware, people. There are cart narcs out here. All right, and it's not safe.
Yeah, there's not. Trust me. I've literally heard. I mean, I'm happy to hear more, but there's nothing like with cart narcs. I can hear the arguments about, well, the way I go about it is impolite, unethical, immoral. You can make those arguments because that's a judgment call. But when it comes to the actual logistics about why and how cart returns or non-returns work, there is not an argument I've heard that holds water.
I think you're right. I really do. I think it just boils down to people being lazy. And I fucking love what you do, dude. I love what you do.
Well, I should say, outside of, like, again, there's a meme that goes around a bunch. Outside of, like, a true actual emergency or true debilitating condition, and you'll notice that in none of our videos do those things pop up.
None. Absolutely none.
I mean, people create ones, like, suddenly their kid needs to be picked up from daycare this second, or they got to go get their friend from the job right now, or blah, 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 blah. My favorite one was here was in Compton, where the woman said, my 90-year-old mother's at home. I need to make her dinner. I was like, is she gonna starve in the next 15 seconds? I don't know, maybe. I'll give her credit for sticking to it. Obviously, it's ridiculous and doesn't make sense, but that's part of and people say, oh, well, the best part about cart narcs is the people flipping out and trying to fight me and kill me. And I get that that's fun for a lot of people, but to me, it's the conversation and, like, the logic and the reasoning as their head turns. That's the much more interesting thing than, the
100%, because you got them. Like, you fucking got them in that moment. They're doing something that they know they shouldn't do, and they're trying to explain their way out of it. And here you are, this fake task force of the cart narcs, right? Real task force. Excuse me. This real task force that no one knows anything about, and you're calling them on their shit. And you've got this. You're throwing magnets at them. You're writing shit down, and they're just like, "What is this real? You can't. I'm not. Am I in trouble?" It's ridiculous, dude. So
it is very much a like. Yeah, middle school or getting busted by your parents sort of thing. Because and I tell people like I come at it from as like you said, an advantage. I've caught them, with their pants down. They know they're wrong. I know they're wrong. But because of that, I try to be as magnanimous about that and say, you know what, the cart return's right there. Let me help you out, because they'll say I didn't, like the guy who tried to punch me in Oregon the other day. He tried the I don't see it. Oh, it's right over there. Here, I can show you. And then he's like, because it's they'll feign an excuse about that stuff. But and every once in a while, there was one here in Oxnard, California, which is like an hour west of LA, where the guy, he showed me his knuckles, where he had tattooed jujitsu on his knuckles, which just shows you. I mean, look, people have made comments in the YouTube video about how smart and or worth it that is. I mean, I don't think Royce Gracie tattooed jiu-jitsu on his knuckles. But after a 5-minute back and forth about how he very veiled threats about how I'm a jiu-jitsu, blah, 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 I could break your arm, I could put you to sleep, etc., he finally returned his cart. And I think it was because he gave all the excuses and blah, 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 and then the threats and stuff, but he got out and returned it. And it's funny because somebody who knew who I was watching the whole thing behind me. And so as soon as he got out, the guy's like, yay! So it's not, people are redeemable, and we try to give them every option to redeem themselves until they don't.
And as someone that's a member of that community, like, that's not the ethos of what that martial art is about. It's not about threatening.
And that's what people are saying in the comments mostly, is that, you know what, if he wasn't whatever he is, a yellow belt, he may have just flipped you off and tried to fight you. But I don't know. I've never, because I've done some, not much of martial arts stuff, and I don't know anybody who has like karate or Muay Thai on their knuckles. It seems kind of a dopey thing, douchey thing to do. But hey,
he did the right thing. He redeemed himself after threatening, the task force, which is, that's a pretty serious crime, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say so, breaking somebody's arm.
Yeah, dude.